Yeah, so that just means that everyone will be able to join. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll wait for 1 more minute, so maybe there will be more people to join. Um, sorry, I'm not sure about that question, but I feel like if you go to the announcement one, you can probably find a recording of that. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll start right now. um, so hi everyone. I'm Emma Ton, and today I'll talk about the introduction to web development. And as you guys can see here, this is the definition from Wikipedia. So web development is basically how you develop a website. Uh, and before we start, I will talk about a little about me. So my name is Emma Ton, and I am a high school senior in Bellevue, Washington. And I love playing flute, and I played it for 9 years. And I learned Java and HTML and CSS, um, especially HTML and CSS on my own during the summer. And I joined Teen Hacks like in the beginning of the summer, and I really like it. So I chose to volunteer here and to learn about HTML and CSS. Okay. All right, so for web developments, these are three languages that is really important. And these three languages, they work together with each other to make our website looks really cool and nice. So HTML, it is stand for Hypertext Markup Language. Um, so it is used to format or display the content. So things like a paragraph um, off a web page, some articles, just text rather than like some styling things. So CSS stand for Cascading Style Sheets. That is used to describe how HTML elements will be displayed. So it will control the styling of the website to make the website looks better. So some layout, they have like drop down menu and some clickable tabs and the color of the text, the font of the text, font size, and so on. Next one, we have JavaScript. It is also a programming language. this allows to make the website interactive. So let's say we have a login page where the user can click on it and enter the username and the password and hit enter. It will submit and the information to the server, like some computer in the backend, and that will like interact between the user and the server. For HTML, CSS, those cannot do that. So in this workshop, I will be talking mainly about HTML and CSS. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys all know what this is, but IDE is stand for Integrated Development Environment. So it is basically a platform or like a tool that consists of at least a source code editor. So we'll edit your code to make it recognizable to the computer. So for making website, I suggest using VS Code, and it just makes your programming a bit easier, so you don't have to type everything. Yeah, if you don't have it yet and don't have any IDE about web development, I highly recommend you to download right now. So later on in the workshop, you can follow me and then we can create a sample website together. So I will give you guys, I guess, 2 minutes to just, I see a raised hand. You can turn on your microphone to ask a question, I guess. Okay, I'll just give you guys 2 minutes to go to Google and maybe download VS Code. Just take you 2 minutes to do that. I'm pretty bad at using Zoom. I don't really know how to see the chat or anything. But yeah. So sorry, I just saw the chat. Okay. Oh, you can't turn on microphone. So sorry. I have no idea what this is. So okay. Download anything in VS Code. Okay, so you don't need to download anything. If you just go to the website, like if you search Microsoft VS Code and you just download this one right here. So yeah, just click whatever PC you have. If you have Windows, you can just click on download Windows. If you have MacBook, you can download the MacBook version. Yeah. Sorry, I need to get used to Zoom a bit more. Oh, oopsie. Okay. I'm not sure if you guys all have it, but I guess I'll just continue or else I'm gonna be run out of time. So I'll be sharing my 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 VS Code right now. Okay. So if you open your VS Code, you should be able to see like blank stuff, like everything should be blank. And right here, you can click new folder and you just create your own folder. I just name it as VS Code. And under that, I just add a new file to it. And we're gonna create a HTML file. So you can name whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it as intro. And make sure you put the file as a .html file. So it should be intro.html. Hit enter, and it should be there. Okay. Split this, okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start for the very first thing. So when you write your HTML code, the very first thing is to declare the document type. So you click angle bracket and you do exclamation point, and there is the doc type. You hit enter, and this one explains it declares the document type as HTML5. So this will tell your browser about what the following document will be about and the language of the document. And next you'll have HTML tag. This is just the root of HTML documents. So one thing that's really cool about VS Code is when you hover over the tag, it will just show you like explain what this tag is about. And for the structure of the tag, they have a structure of the tag name. For here is like HTML, and then you can have some content in the middle. So for now, we just have head. You can display some content in the middle, and then you have to end it with the end tag. And the VS Code editor will just automatically do it for you, so you don't have to like type the whole entire thing. And for head elements, as you hover over it, it explains how it is a collection of metadata for the document. And the metadata, it will not be displayed. And for instance, I have title, let's say introduction to HTML. This title will not be displayed on your web page. So, but it is used when Google, like when you type something in Google will it will help Google to find your web page, basically. Yeah. So after head, we usually will do body. So body is the basically where the content of the website will be displayed. You write your content inside the body tab. And for now, we have headings. So we write our header as H1. Let's say this is first heading. And when you run it in your VS Code, you just click here. And hold on. Sorry, I don't think I'm sharing the other thing. Okay, so, oops. Very sorry about that. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can all run it, but for me, if you want to try to run it, you can click here. And there's launch.json, and here there's configurations. So if you want to run your file, you need to click add configuration, and it should include the type as the Chrome one. So if you click add configuration, it should be Chrome launch. Now I'm pretty lazy, so I just like copy this whole chunk over to here. And I'll change my name. So here I name it as intro.html. I want it to be displayed as open intro.html. So I will take sometimes to refresh it. Okay. Okay, and it's right here. Yay, this is our first heading. So as you can see, it will display this line right here in between the headers. So that is the content that will be displayed on your web page. And we also have different importance of headers. There's header 2, header 3, header 4, header 6. Least important heading. Make sure you don't use the header as if you want to like change the size of the text, because the header, the importance of the header will help your browser to see like where you want to basically help your browser to find something that they need or the clients are searching up for. So if you want to if you want to change your size of the text, you can use CSS, which we'll be talking about it later in this workshop. And next we have paragraph. So paragraph, the paragraph basically just content and a section of the thing that you want to say. So here, if you guys can see right here, I have this section of a paragraph about poem. I'll just, whoops, copy that here. So the break one, so this is an element, it's said represented line break. So if you just without this, even though you have an enter, when you display this, like when you run it in your browser, let's say here, it won't have an enter to it, like a return thing. So you have to use break to break this line. So it's a line breaker. Okay, and here I just display a poem, and on there here you see there's this element called EM, stand for emphasis. So it put emphasis on the content. So here it emphasized William Shakespeare. And it usually will italicize the content, but don't use it if you just want to italicize the text. Use CSS for that. Okay. After that, we are going to have this element. This element's HR, this represent the paragraph or thematic break. So you can see a clear line between your sections. So let's try it out. So we're gonna have another paragraph. We're gonna talk about links. Okay, so when you run this, you see how there's a clear line break right here? So that is the HR element. All right. And next we have the A element. So this element is it will provide a hyperlink to it, and the way you want to do it is you use this attributes. We call this attributes the things that you write inside the tag. So this attribute stands for hyperlink. So for the thing that I did, I just have a hyperlink and just copy it down here. And in between the start tag and the end tag, you can write something down. So let's say this is a link to a list of HTML. So we will run this and see what to expect. So see, this is a clickable link with the message I wrote. This is a link to a list of HTML. It will display this, and when you click on it, it will open in the same tab as before. And these are all of the HTML tags or elements reference. So super helpful. You can check it out. Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about images. I love it. It's my favorite part about HTML. Okay. Have another thematic break. Okay, and next we have this element called image. So this will display basically image. And we have some attributes like source right here, alternate text, and use map. So for source, it means it defines the path of the picture in your folder, or an online link will also work. So in this case, I have it as, I'm just gonna copy it here. So this picture right here, Minecraft picture, I downloaded into the same folder. So like right over here, like this picture. And so you just need to write since they are all in the same folder, you can just write the name of the file without using any ... or something to go back to the previous folder. And the alternate one, this attribute is stand for the alternate text. So we can talk about it later. So use map, we'll talk about it later too. So let's test it out right now. Sorry, I see some chat, but I'm just gonna run it. Okay. Oops. Okay, you see how they displayed this beautiful picture of Minecraft right over here. So now you can see the picture, but if I make like a mistake, let's say I add an S to it, the picture will not be displayed, and instead they will display this alternate text. So if you run it, you see how the picture is no longer displayed, and then it wrote, I love Minecraft. Okay, now we're gonna talk about image map. That is the thing that I really like. So I'll show you how this will look like before we talk about what all this means. Okay. Okay. So for here, image map, basically, if I hover over it, okay. Yep. Okay, map name. So here on this image, if you hover over the bee and you can click on it, and you will jump to a beautiful page, Minecraft bee. There's some information about this that I made. So this is called image mapping. So when I click on this, you can see how there is a black frame near the bee. That is the coordinates that's right here. So area. Okay, so if you want to do an image map, you need to use use map when you are inserting the image that you want to be clickable on, and this you will have you will have a hashtag and then the name of the map that should be matched with this. If they're not matched, then the area that you select will not be clickable anymore. And this area elements, it defines the clickable area. So for this part, the shape that I was able to click on, it is a polygon. And where I got the coordinates is I used a website. It is called, let me show you. So the website that I use is called Free Online Image Map Generator. So you can select your image from your PC right here, and you could click like polygon, and then you can just like point some of the, have some points. Here you made a shape and can just like show me the code, and you can copy down the coordinates to your code, and that should turn it to a clickable one. So that's about for the image mapping. Okay. Lastly, about HTML today, we're going to learn about the table. So again, thematic break. Table. Okay, this is, if you hover over, is an element that will represent data with more than one dimension. So if you guys can see this, could someone like, okay, you guys can't really talk. So this will display a table with country column and capital column. And so the way that they format this is TR stands for the table row. Basically, like each row of the thing they say, and TH is the header cell, so the top row, and TD are data cells, so other than the top row. So I'll just just run this. Okay. So on the bottom, if you can see it, probably. So this is country capital as the first row, and you see how they're bolded. So they're like emphasizing this is the header row, and the bottom are just data row. Okay, that is what I have for HTML for now. This is like a basic to some HTML tags and stuff. You can learn more from other websites that I'll talk about later on. So now, so for HTML, I highly recommend that you check out DOM, so DOM, or learn about that. So because it will help you to learn about JavaScript. I won't cover JavaScript in this workshop. I'll just talk about HTML and CSS. Okay, so now let's talk about CSS. For CSS, oh, whoops. For CSS, oops. Okay, so this is the CSS syntax. So they have H1, as we learned before, it is a element for HTML, and they call it selector. And they have brackets, and they have color, colon, blue stuff. They call these color and font size as property. They have the specific color, like specific size as value. Whoops, sorry. And the way you want to insert CSS into your HTML code is, there are 3 ways to do so. One is externally, so you could write a separate .css file, and you can insert it into the head, under the head tag in your HTML file. Another way I found like really useful, or like at least when you're doing some easy coding, you can use internal CSS. So you will create one. I'll show you right here. So right over here, you see how under the head, I have another element called style. This elements allow to have the CSS style for each section, such as header, paragraph, and so on. So this is how you format it. Everything will be under the header, and in the bottom, they have the body where you only display the content. Okay. So these are called internal, like insertion of CSS. And inline insertion of CSS, it means like this. So for here, H1, you can see how inside the H1 tag or element, I wrote an attribute called style, and I have it equal to the color of that. And this means it defines this header largest heading. When it displayed, it will displayed in the color of slate blue. And there are the order of that. So inline insertion will take over, or like override it, external or internal one. And those will override the browser default. I'll show you later on in this workshop. So I'll do the same thing as before. I named this file as a new HTML file, and I just called it css.html, which is terrible. Don't name it like css.html. HTML, name something else. So we have style as the element that I talk about. And oh, I just realized I forgot to talk about comments. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, I have an angle bracket, an exclamation mark, and 2 hyphen. In between, you can have your comments. This is the comments for HTML. Comments means that when the console are running your code, they will skip this part because they know it's a comment. So this is only a help to the programmer to know to like, okay, this part of this portion is about something like the head, or like remind there about something. Okay, and within the style element, the comments changed to this type. There was that Node Java is pretty similar to Java, so they have like a / and a star. And in between that will be your comments for inside the style elements. Okay. So you can, as you can see right here, you can group them together when you display a format for all. So for H1, H2, P.1, P.2, P.3, so this like first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, fourth paragraph, they all will display as like centered. The text will be in the center and the text will be white or snow. And on the bottom, you see how I overwrite this. And remember how I talk about how inline insertion will be prioritized before the external or internal ones. So this is so when I do this, they will override the white text. So when I play this, see how all of the other texts are all white in white color. Only the first one is in blue. This is because the inline insertion CSS override the internal one. Yeah, okay. And the text align center, these are all just elements text. So text align means like the position of the text, whether it's in the left, center, or right, or more. And the color will display the color of the text. And if you want to specify like a section with different type of thing, you can do like body, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and so on. So for body, it will display the content, all of the content inside this whole chunk. So here we have background image, and the URL that you have in your folder. Yeah, so this will display the background image. And the problem with this is, why do I have repeat? Is that if I have a really small image, what CSS will do is they will like repeat your image all over your web page. So they will have like 5 images in first row, and second row they have another 5 images. So it's pretty annoying. So for this part, I do no repeat. And for the background size, sometimes we'll just have like tiny little image in the corner, or in this case, I want it to be like full, like covers the entire web page. So this is what I did. So you see the background image, they're just one with no repeat, and it covers the entire website. And now we have paragraph 1. So for paragraph 1, the way I declared it to like distinguish the different paragraphs is I have the class attributes where I name it as 1. So when you do p.1, they knows that this is the first paragraph, is the paragraph we're referring to as right here. So it will like distinguish the different paragraph you're writing on. So for the first one, I have border style, dotted, border width thick, and there is spacing as 3 pixels. So you can see how the border is filled with dots and stuff. And the next one, paragraph 2, border style of double. So you can see how, okay, it's really tiny, but if you like zoom in, it's like double line. And padding, 50 pixels. So padding it means that the thickness, like the space between your border and your text. So this case, you see how it's really different than the one before, how there's like more space in between. That is the padding thing. And text decoration, overline. So overline meaning how you see there's a line above the text, that's overline. You can also have like crossover, so in the middle. You can also have like underline, so that is called text decoration. Text transform is you can transform all of the text here to uppercase, lowercase, as you want, even though it's not uppercase or lowercase when you write it down here. Next, we have text indent. So you can see how they are all should be in the middle, but the second one is indented. So this can be used when you have like a paragraph and you want to indent the first line. So you can do that. And we have letter spacing. See how letter spacing here is 3 pixels and this one is negative 3 pixels. So the difference is this is 3, so it's more like there's more space between each letter, and this negative one is just more compressed together. Text shadow. It's not super important, just like if you want to have some cool effect. See how there's like some white shadow here. Compared to others, they don't have any. So if you want to have some cool art effect on words, you can use that. Oh, whoops. And now we have the border style as solid and the margin of 50 pixels. So the difference between margin and padding is that the margin is in between two border and the padding is inside within the border. So see how the first border and second border have like this amount of space, and the second and third have more space in between them. It's because I changed the margin for the third paragraph. While I changed the second padding, and it's just have more space between inside the border and the text. You can also change the height and width of your border, which you see how this is like really small. Okay. And here, paragraph 4, you can also change the border background color to like sea green. In this case, I did that, and I make the font size extra large. And you can also change the font by using font family to like cursive. And yeah, and background color, padding text for a link. So this one right over here, it is basically correspond to this button right over here. So you see how like without hovering over this button is gray background, and when I hover over it, it's like darker color. This is when I style it. So this is a link. A is the A attribute for hyperlink. And see how like when you hover over it, I change the background color to midnight blue. And when I'm not hovering it, I change it to it's slate gray. And yeah, so you can also have change like styles of this by without having any text decoration and so on. So for here, when this is like a clickable link basically, but with like cooler effects off a button. So when I click on it, I'll jump to a CSS tutorial. Okay, so all of these are corresponding to something that I wrote, some element that I wrote in the body part. So for this A element, I wrote an A HTML tag right here with a link to the CSS page and with the text of link to learn more about CSS. And that concludes my CSS introduction. And I'll check why does the break function not have an end tag? Good questions, because they don't need, it's just like a return element. So for those that have an end tag, they are declaring a section of the website. So it will have display content in between, but for break one, you don't need some content in between to return. So hopefully that answers a question. And the next question, why does HR function not have an end tag either? It's the same as break tag. They're all just a thematic break or something, so you don't need to have content in between breaks. The pictures, I am assuming the image map. Okay, beautiful. Okay, yes, I will go over that. Okay, I think it's right over here, this chunk. So image, this is the image. Oh, I feel like you guys can't really see this clearly. Okay, so this is the image element, and within the element, you have the source attribute. This is the picture path. So for me, I have the picture like Minecraft picture .jpg right over here in the same folder as my HTML file. And since they're all in the same folder and same path, you can just write it down as the file name under the source thing. And for alternate, it is the alternate text. And okay, I think the part you're confused about is the use map feature. So the use map and the map name, it is just a way of connecting the picture with your link for here. So like when on the picture, you have a clickable area, and when you click it, it will connect to another page, another web page. So this is why you have to match the name of the map with the use map name and the map name. Does it make sense? This name can be anything that you want, just make sure they're matching each other. And you have area as another element. This is it defines the clickable area, which is the polygon that I showed to you guys, like the bee thing, and the shape of that clickable area. It could be a rectangle if you like have some rectangular clickable area that you want to be on, or you can have polygons, or you can have circles. And the way I learned this, they asked me to use image tool, but I found it really, really difficult. So I just if you just search like free image map generator, there should be something that will generate a coordinate for you. I just like copy and paste the coordinate here. And for alternate, it's just the alternate text for this area, I guess. And the most important is you have to have the link of this clickable area. So the computer will know when you are clicking on it, they will know like where to go to. So which website to go to, basically. I see some more questions. Oh, I just downloaded. I search online like Minecraft image, and you just like right click and should I save it to the folder. and you can just name it and then just write the name of the file there. Does it make sense? Oh, okay. The folder itself is not HTML type. It's just a folder. Inside a folder, you can have, okay, let me just open my folder. So if you go to File Explorer, Documents. So this is my folder. You can see how I have 3 pictures right here. There's the Minecraft pictures, the Minecraft beef, there's the background picture, and these are all the HTML code thing. So they're all in the same folder. What is the app name where you write these codes? It is called VS Code, Virtual Studio Code from Microsoft. You can just search it up in Google. Yeah, and I don't think there's any more questions. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about is that to inspect the HTML website. So I just say I'm going to open this one and I right click this and you can see the very last there's inspect. You click on that and this will show you the code for this entire website. So if you expand this, you can see my code basically for this website. And this is applicable to all of the websites. Let's just say this code generator website, if you just like right click and you go to inspect, they show you the entire code of this website. So this will help you to probably learn how to code something and know more about websites. So just like a reference. Okay. We don't have much time left. Okay. So I did not address navigation bar dropdowns and website layout. So I have some links right over here. Yeah, feel free to check it out if you have time. We don't have time for JavaScript. And okay. So if you want to learn more or like practice more about web development, there are some ways to do that. So I learned the HTML and CSS, the thing that I taught in this workshop, mostly are from the W3 schools. So this is a really good platform to learn different type of languages. They have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, even Java, C, C++, all those type of languages. And this one is a roadmaps about web development. So what we learned today, basically like right here, so this part, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, of course, only like a part of these. And when you learn more about each of the languages, you can get deeper to like task runner, package manager, framework stuff. These are something that will help you to program your CSS or your HTML JavaScript file easier by having like a framework of code. So it will not be like super complicated as I wrote today. So it's a good resource to check it out. And yeah, you can click on it. There's like tutorial of everything. I found it really helpful. And you can search up some projects to work on, especially JavaScript. I sometimes will like search up projects for HTML or like project for JavaScript. You can make like a JavaScript quiz website. It's like interactive and super cool. And lastly, there are some volunteer opportunities virtually. So I recently found this website called Volunteer Match. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it or not, but they have tons of volunteer opportunities virtually, especially during quarantine or like when you guys enter high school, like you want to do some volunteer hours and you're interested in doing like uh, web development related stuff. They if you go to the website, Volunteer Match, uh, okay, super slow. Okay, and they have, I believe they have like virtual opportunity, and they have like sections right here. So you can go to like computer technology, and they have some like some nonprofit organization. They want people to volunteer to help them to renew their website. So if you learn more about it, you are able to or like comfortable doing some those web design or web developments, you can check those out. Also, you can gain some volunteer hours in high school. Yeah, and that will conclude for my workshop today. Thank you all for listening, and hope you guys did learn something from this workshop. And stay safe and healthy. I'll check the chat again if there's any more questions. There's no more questions. So I guess you guys are feel free to leave. Thank you for listening. Oh yeah, shoot. For those that are still here, if you want like the link in this PowerPoint, or you want the link to my file, like my HTML file, you can. I will type my email into the chat if I can use it. Don't think I can use the chat. I'll type my email right here, and if you guys want the link, you can email me and I'll send you the link. Anyone want the link? Oh, I can't even exit. Oh. Sorry for those 3 that are still here. This is my email. You can email me if you want the link.